What's up, guys? Mamba here. So this is my trade recap of last week's trade. So it's not all of them, of course. I took 13 trades and 10 out of 13 in the green, three losses. I'm gonna go over one of the losses and three winners. I think these were my favorite trades, and I want to go over the loss, just a learning lesson. This is Ford, so we're going to start with the loss. Ford was a minus 20% on this trade. I tried triggering this trade early on, and the thing about triggering early trades with me is I don't have a really good success rate with it. But sometimes I try to just get ahead of it in case, I see the market potentially coming down or making a strong move down or up, that is, right? And I took it over here on this, I think it was Monday, or no, sorry, it was Tuesday right here. So this was when Powell came out, was speaking on Tuesday, and the market had pumped, and then you could even see it on the 5 minute here. Where are we at? Right about, yeah, I think it was Friday. This was Thursday, Tuesday, right here. Okay, so we had the market pump, the market came down. We had a nice strong move by the indices, and then the market ended up flushing through. And this was coming down to the trend line, and I ended up triggering it early. I triggered it literally at the lows, thinking, well, the market will come down after the pump. You got a nasty dump, and then who would have thought? Who would have guessed the market would pump back up again, break the highs, and rip, right? So that's what happened with this trade. This was a potential swing trade, right? I wanted this as a swing, and I entered it and exited the trade in the same day. So I actually set a stop loss on the trade and took the loss on it pretty quick. I knew, man, as soon as that market was pumping and breaking the highs, I just set my stop loss. If it hits, it hits, and ended up hitting. And thankfully, it did up until this gap down. I was hot back in the daily. Now, what I was looking for was this trend line right here, this lower trend line. I was hoping we'd break and hold off of this candle. That's why I wanted to trigger it early. I thought, market's coming back down after a nice pump during Powell, and market just dumped. And looks like we're just gonna flush the rest of the day. Not the case, pump back up, right? So I was trying to get it ahead of time on the daily off of this trend line, break and hold for further downside. Never got it. But if I held, of course, I would have been in green. But man, who knew this gap down was coming? This was a dividend date gap down. So um, I did not trigger it here. That's tough to trigger for me. That's a pretty nasty gap down for forward. And if it ends up making a move, filling the gap or testing this trend line and rejecting it, closing, I'll trigger it again with the stop loss of coming back above the trend line and closing. So um, just an early. So those early triggers will get you. It gets me. It gets me more times than I'm right. Right. So um, took the loss, but that was the reasoning behind the loss was the early trigger. If I just waited right for the daily close, would have never entered this trade. But um, took it early, and that's what happened. That's the risk with entering trades early, not waiting for confirmation, is this happens, right? So, but luckily I exited the same day. Well, not luckily, because this shit happened right here, but I'm not chasing this gap down. I'm gonna wait for a better entry. So that was forward minus 20% on that. The next one I want to go over is AMD. This was sweet. This was a different technique. This was a day trade, but this was a different technique I used actually to trigger this trade. 5 minute, I noted the head and shoulders on this trade. So you could see the curve right there. Let's just place these. Oh man, I think I made that too small. So um, there we go. Right there. And then right there. All right. So you can see the head and shoulders on the 5 minute. What do? You line up your neckline right about there. All right. So entry, there's two ways I like to enter pattern breaks is break and hold of the neckline. Next one would be break and retest of the neckline. So break, hook, and then go to the downside. Now we broke and held, right? So this could be taken as a trigger. Head and shoulders market was coming down, and you had a nice pattern formation on AMD here. Nice looking head and shoulders. And finally got that close below my trigger on the 5 minute. What I did though was I jumped into the 1 minute. Gotta see this. Where's this at? Okay, there we go. So I jumped into the 1 minute, and this is what triggered my trade. So what I did was I lined up my 1 minute candle at this low right here. So that's what I did right there. Okay, I saw the market consolidating. I mean, I saw AMD consolidating within this trigger and the neckline. So as soon, and I told myself, once I get a 1 minute break and hold, I'll trigger the trade. And I avoided, I guess some chop, right? But I was taking weeklies on this. I played weeklies on this, and that was Wednesday. So I ended up taking this as soon as we broke and held this on the 1 minute, this little range we had. I triggered the trade. I entered it. You flipped that into resistance, which you like to see, right? Because you're taking it off the 1 minute here, initially off the 5 minute pattern that that was noted, but the trigger was this break and hold, and took it with a and then it break, hook, and go, basically, right? You broke and held your trigger, you came back, flipped into resistance, and then you got yourself a nice move to the downside, which is the go, break, hook, and then go to the downside. So this was a really nice trade. I trimmed as we came down, and of course I set my targets, and I think my last trim was 41%. I trimmed in fourths, so not net, but my last trim, my exit on this trade at the end was at 40%. That was definitely a target right there, right? You have some consolidation, you have to set that as a target. We broke and held below, came down even more, trimmed there, and then I held this actually. I held this till the next day, and then we dumped even further and trimmed some more and exited somewhere. But nice trade. Really like this because it was noted off the 5 minute, but I triggered it off the 1 minute. Something I'm going to continue to do, use, actually, add to my arsenal. Moving on forward with my trading. Next one would be SPY. So I've been playing the opening range breakout on this. So what I do is I watch the 5 minute, let it develop some highs and lows, and this was actually on YouTube live stream if any of you guys were watching. What I did was this, we ended up, setting this little high there. We ended up dropping, and then as soon as we started to form this candle, I lined up the support, right? The lower part of this ORB, so the range, right? The opening range. And what I did from there is I flipped into the 1 minute, and all I did was watch it, right? I watched this play out. There we go. It's right here. Don't mind this trend line. This is a daily. But just watch the levels right here. So we have this right about line right there. So what I'd like to do is once that breaks and holds, I like to move the stop loss up to the candle open, right? Or close, depending if it's red or green. But this one is the candle open on this wick, right? Because I'm lining it up on this wick. So I like to move my stop loss up there, right? So we got this. That's the lower part of that range. And once we broke and held on this candle, I triggered this trade. I got in, and a quick, I believe it was like 15 to 20%. This is about $1 move on SPY on 0 DT. So 413.05 all the way down to 412.11. So about $1 move, right? In 0 DTEs, those will move. I remember it was 15%, but they moved 20 plus. But I'm looking for a scalp. On these plays, I'm looking for a scalp. I'm in and out. I'm not looking to trim. I'm not looking, I'm just in and out because anything can happen, right? And of course, it could continue to come downward, right? You could break out of the range and continue the trend downward, or it could just break, make a move, and then bounce and then make new highs up here, right? Who knows? But I just made a decision that once, I do play this range breakout, I just want to scalp in and out, and I'm done with that. I'm looking to play this every morning, so we'll see how that goes. But nice little strategy, and I just added a little um, one other thing too is just moving that stop loss up here. All right, so that played out nice. And the next one, the last one I want to go over is snow. So this is a strategy I've always used, and if you're been in the Discord, you guys know this is a strategy I continue to use, is finding those flagger trades. And what I saw with, I don't know why this price action is showing up weird. Wasn't like this on Thursday, but trading view, I don't know, something must be going on. But what I noted was a head and shoulders definitely looked a lot cleaner. I'm not sure why the price action looks like that now, but let me see the curve. So I noted a head and shoulders there. Not the cleanest, right? But it is one, and then the other one right there, and then you got your neckline right about here. Let's do something like that, right? So what happened is, what I really wanted was the break and hold of this 164.05. Again, these candles are really weird. Did not look like this during market hours. I'm on the 5 minute right now, on the 5 second. This is the 1 minute, which even looks worse. 10 minute. I guess let's just keep it on the 10 minute. That looks cleaner. Um, we'll just keep it on the 10 minute, but did not look like that on the 5 minute during market hours. Anyways, head and shoulders, you got this nice diagonal neckline. And what I did was I wanted this support. There was a nice support to break and hold. It was right here. I've never moved it. It was 164, but I wanted to break and hold that level too, as well as this trend line and this neckline. And we got that, right? We got the break and hold. Um, of both the level and the trend line. I triggered the trade, consolidate, came back, which is what you get usually with patterns, right? You usually get this break, hook, and go off of a pattern, right? You break, come down, hook, and then you flip that into resistance. Same as the AMD one, right? Or any resistance line or any support line you're playing off of. That's what you like to see is a break hook, flip that into resistance, it goes your way usually, right? So that's what happened. Broke held, I triggered it because it was a laggard. The market was really coming down, and this just stayed. I mean, this was just lagging and lagging. It was just holding up, holding up, holding up, just consolidating. Of course, this doesn't always play out, right? Another conviction I had was I saw huge put flows come in on snow for 1 DTEs, right? This was on Thursday. Triggered this trade on Thursday and rolled it over into actually swung it into tomorrow into Friday. So, and I saw 1 DTE puts, heavy puts coming in on snow. So the market's coming down. This is lagging. It's getting smacked with puts, and we have a bearish, we have a pattern formation to the downside, a broken held neckline. There you go. I have more than one conviction going on, broken held the level as well. So break, hook, and go. And this played out really nice. This actually was a 69% winner. Of course, not net. I trimmed along the way, but I trimmed where was it? Here as my first target, a little below that, I think somewhere right there. And then the next trim was at the low, so that 5 minute will probably be the open right here. It was somewhere right here. Again, this did not look like this during market hours, but I trimmed there, and I swung half into tomorrow. The next day, I trimmed here, gap fill, and then I held some and trimmed right there at 157. I was really targeting this level, which is this support right here, but I was satisfied with the move on snow here, and I just exited the rest right there at 69%. But it did eventually hit my target and bounce off of it. So you do like to see that because you want to see how your levels are playing out, and pretty clean though. But those were my top trades. I had a few other good trades. But usually my trades are like this, right? They're level based, they're pattern based. I don't usually play right in the morning. SPY is new to me that I'm doing the opening range. That's something I've started, I think, about 10 trading days ago, something like that. Let's just say 2 weeks ago. But it's been working out pretty well. I think I've been successful in all of them. Haven't taken any and failed on those so far. So let's look into Monday. Let's go into Monday, continuing that streak. And if you guys aren't the Discord, I do live stream. I'm starting to live stream now. So share my screen, so you guys will be seeing me. Have my screen in half like this, where the indices will be to my left. SPY and QQQ. I flipped it out here, and then I flipped it out tickers on the right. So come in, see how that. If that helps out. If anything, you'll learn a thing or two. And then I'll go about my trades that way, trigger it off of whatever level, blah, 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 etc., stop loss targets and whatnot. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. And yeah, so I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll be it. Just the 4 trades. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And I will see you guys later. Thursday, I do a live stream on YouTube. So I'll see you guys there. Take care.